Today, Aston Martin of New England in Waltham, Massachusetts, gave me a car. This is the Aston Martin Vantage. This looks like Aston's attempt, and I'd say they're doing a pretty good job of attracting a younger audience. A lot of their older clients are into the Grand Touring models, such as the DB11, the DBS, beautiful cars, but maybe don't necessarily attract those who would have been looking at, say, a Huracan or an AMG GT, or even some Porsche 911s. This is not going to be a GT3 rival, more of a GTS rival. It's a lot more firm and sporty than the DB11. So what you do notice is that rear end is extremely rigid. So when you do plant it out of a corner, there's no give, there's no rubbery feeling back there. It just goes. So can Aston make a modern sports car? I would say yes. Well, the reality is, this is for somebody who is looking for something a little more understated. They still need to go to the office every day. They don't want to be embarrassed when they pull up to a restaurant in a purple Lamborghini. No offense, Dr. M3, you know I love purple Lamborghinis. But sometimes that's just not the vibe. Sometimes you just live your E-Class life, but maybe you've got a bad side. And this is the bad side. This thing is so sinister. Has more than enough torque and struggles for traction pretty much anytime you want it to, but at the same time, even though it's a turbo engine, you've got peak torque at 2,000 RPM, and it's still pretty easy to modulate. I like that they use this AMG engine because although it's twin turbocharged, they sit inside of the V, and there's essentially no lag. It just gives you torque. There's not this sensation of this big push when it reaches boost. What Aston's done with this all-aluminum chassis is given us the opportunity to have a very rigid, solid Grand Tourer that also allows you, if you wanted, could take this on the track. Unlike a DB11, which probably is not suited for like actual track duty, this car, I could see this out there having fun. It's certainly not going to set lap times faster than a GT3 or even a GTR, but you're going to have fun out there doing it. Inside the car, this interior is unbelievably well crafted. And to be honest, the biggest surprise is how good the paddles are. How is Audi missing the mark on paddles with the R8 with those little plastic guys back here, when Aston Martin's coming out with these bad boys? Oh my God, they feel phenomenal. Look at this 360-degree camera. Right? Maybe not $200,000 stuff, but that's nice. I come from an old world of like no parking sensors on my M3, so when I can see the whole world, and man, these are some wide front tires. You give it some lock, you're gonna feel them as you're going around. But anyway, we did some basic girl things, and we went to Starbucks. But because this is a freaking Aston Martin, we put the little caps on. We're not going to be drinking them or speeding at all as we drive home now. But this car is surprisingly usable. What I like the most is that for normal people, they would say it can fit 2 golf bags in the trunk. Well, I don't play golf, so I don't care. But it can fit my backpack, tripods, lighting equipment, and a whole bunch of cameras. So I'm pretty thrilled about that. Some odd stuff about it. There's no glove box, or at least I don't think there is. And there's just like kind of oddball spaces for things, but this is actually really nice. Auto start stop, we're gonna turn that off because we wanna hear this car. We've paid for this, we paid good money. So we open this up, I've got, you know, a nice spot for my phone. But you can also see here that if your key fob were to die, you can take the key fob apart and you can use that, I believe, to start the car. Inside the car, it was definitely like designed with drivers in mind, because what you can see on each side of this console are these nice like hand-stitched leather pads, so that way you can brace your knees against this as you're shoving it into a corner. The car is incredibly wide, so it has a lot of grip, and it's a lot of fun on the back roads. One of the nicest things about this car is that you have two special buttons here on the steering wheel. One is going to adjust your drive mode, so that's going to put us between, you know, the Comfort Touring, the Sport Plus, and the Track mode. Then on this side, you've got your suspension settings. I always thought that when I started driving Aston Martins, if I were so lucky to drive Aston Martins, that I would just be doing highway reviews because they're grand touring cars. I thought maybe I'd get a car to go up to the mountains with and spend 300-400 miles expressing its enjoyable sounds on an open freeway. But here I am in a Vantage, and I don't think I've shown much, if anything, on the highway, because this is way more fun on a back road. This is a true sports car. The Vantage is really designed for an honest driver who uses their car normally, but also enjoys hitting the back roads on the weekends. So thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. If you are in the market for an exotic car, don't overlook the Vantage. Go drive it, see what you think. Maybe this is the classy suit you've been looking for, and you're not actually hunting for a pink feather boa. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one.